Hello and welcome to the big picture. The budget session of the parliament is set to open from tomorrow. The kind of atmosphere which prevails now, it is quite evident that the opposition is not going to make the life of the government very easy. There are several issues which have come up in the last several days and weeks which are going to be seen in the parliament coming up in a very strong way. The opposition parties have given enough indications about the kind of issues which they are going to raise. So today we will look at how this budget session of the parliament is expected to go on, whether there will be a peaceful budget session or we will witness the same kind of scenes which we have been seeing more often than not in the recent years. To discuss this, I have with me right now Renuka Chaudhary, Congress spokesperson and also a MP in the Rajya Sabha, Smita Gupta, Deputy Editor of The Hindu. The other guests will be joining us soon. Let me come to Smita. Smita, do you think that the government is in a position to have a smooth session this time?
Well, the government has made several appeals to the opposition, right from the Prime Minister himself to the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, an appeal to the opposition to help Parliament function smoothly. But I think the opposition effort will be to pin down the government on a range of issues. These include, of course, the Augusta Westland helicopter deal,
right.
High prices, the statement that Sushil Kumar Shinde, the Home Minister, had made about terror camps. So for the government, of course, the top priority will be to pass the two budgets, the main budget and the railway budget. But along with that, the government wants to pass 4 key laws. One refers to the law that will replace the ordinance on crimes against women.
Right.
The Lokpal bill, the food security bill and the land acquisition bill. Because let's not forget this, we are just 15 months away from the general elections and the government needs to show that it has done something constructive.
Right.
But I think the opposition is not really in the mood to cooperate to help the government pass these 4 bills. There is already talk that the opposition parties would like to send all these bills back for further discussion to the standing committees, though 3 of them have already been cleared by the standing committees.
Yes. Okay. We are now joined in by Sitaram Yechury, the CPM leader in the Rajya Sabha. Sitaram, welcome. Renuka, before I come to you, let me go to Sitaram and see what kind of troubles they are going to pose for your government. Sitaram, Smita feels that it's not going to be a very smooth session. You think that there is any way in which the Prime Minister's call to the opposition to ensure that the smooth functioning of the Parliament will be heeded to by the opposition parties?
First of all, what we must realize is that it's not the troubles that we are planning for the government, but is the troubles that the government is creating for itself. And we would want all these issues which are very important that should be discussed in the Parliament.
Right.
And we want the Parliament to hold the government accountable.
Right.
And these issues that have been listed, they're all very important. I mean, you'll have to legislate the ordinance that has been issued already issued by the government, and we will certainly seek to strengthen that various aspects of the Justice Verma report that have not been incorporated in the ordinance, that we would like them to come in. There is, of course, the helicopter scam that is not the opposition's doing, but the government's doing. I mean, whichever date it goes back to. But that is something that will be taken up. And remember, today and tomorrow, the entire working class of our country, in an unprecedented fashion, all the central trade unions,
right.
those affiliated to the ruling Congress and to the opposition BJP, including the left, etc., all of them have gone on a 2-day strike.
Right.
And there are very important issues that are being raised, which are concerning people's livelihood. So all these issues, we would want the Parliament to take a position on this and force the government to take measures that will help the people.
Absolutely, Sitaram.
Of course, as you said, both the budgets. No,
Sitaram, this is all
both
fine.
The budgets are there, and we'd want the budget.
Budgets to be discussed, okay, but Sitaram
to
is
reflect
also,
what the people's concerns are.
Sitaram is all well and good that
Yeah.
you're sounding very conciliatory. You're saying that we need a discussion on all these things. The government has already accepted that on all these issues you can have a discussion. So let me go to Prakash Javadekar. Prakash Javadekar, the BJP spokesperson and MP in the Rajya Sabha, has also joined us. Prakash, do you think that in this session, as Sitaram was just now pointing out, that the opposition wants a discussion on all these issues. So are you people prepared to have a discussion without stalling the house or creating problems so that to ensure a smooth functioning of the parliament?
I have told umpteen times that we want 100-day session. We not only want to discuss but also want pro-people decisions that government should take. The issue is, if they are really taking pro-people decisions, we will support them. If they are doing wrong, we will oppose them.
Right.
The issue is the sensibility of the government. When you have seen what has happened in 2010 winter session, the whole session was wasted by adamancy of Congress for not accepting the JPC,
right,
which they accepted later. Last full session, major part of it was wasted by the disturbances created by their supporting party, SP and BSP. So know one thing,
yes,
Congress has a responsibility to run the house, let us understand. We will take our portion. Now what we are saying, we are not saying of stalling the house, we are not saying disturbing or disruptions, we are saying that Home Minister has given Pakistan a handle to beat India, at least for that God's sake, and you have equated a whole religion with the terror, and you have charged the main opposition party of running the terror camps, then you must apologize, you must withdraw your remarks. That is a simple demand which should have been made much earlier. There is no issue of disruption.
No, Mr. Javadekar, as you know, from what we have read and heard from the government, they are actually, it seems that they are prepared for a JPC on the Westland helicopter issue. And as far as this issue of the Home Minister's statement is concerned, they are prepared for a discussion also on that. Why? So are you people going to prepare for a discussion?
I can't understand.
Or you want a straightforward apology straight away with no discussion on that?
Sir, if you, out of a slip of tongue or out of something, you said something which you later on think that which was not correct. This is the civilized debate demands that it needs no discussion. It needs simple explanation that this was a unintended saying. We withdraw it and I regret it.
Okay.
What is bad?
Okay, let me get Renuka Chaudhary in on this. Renuka Chaudhary, unintended remark, withdraw it, apologize, and then let us have a peaceful session.
Girish, I do believe that running parliament is the responsibility of the government as well as opposition if they consider themselves a responsible opposition.
Right.
I think collectively the country judges us. They the nation and the people don't see us as two different entities within parliament. Because it is in parliament that we collectively work with the cohesiveness which will impact the nation. Now, if you were to bring in the whistleblowers bill, it's not about the Congress or the BJP.
No, it
is for the country.
No, it's nothing to do with that. See,
if we are bringing in sexual harassment at workplaces, it is not about political parties itself, but it is about the gender issue in the nation.
Absolutely. No, but
the
government
is ready to discuss it in the House.
Is the government ready to discuss this issue of, we have read some statements from some of the Congress leaders saying that even on the issue of the statement made by the Home Minister about Hindu terror, that we are ready for a discussion in the House. Is that the way out, or do you think, is that the way out, or you think that the BJP's demand for an apology from the Home Minister is something which can be done by the Home Minister?
I can't sit in judgment and say whether the Home Minister should or should not. He is
But
the
that
Home
seems
Minister of
that-
India.
but that seems to be-
And
that
if
seems to be the problem.
Can't the BJP come into the house and ask? I mean,
Well,
what is
who
this,
said no? We are coming house.
sword
We
over
are
our
coming
head
in the
that
house.
if you don't
Why you
apologize,
worry?
we will not allow Parliament to function.
Who said?
Are we
Who
saying
said?
that?
Okay,
Who said?
No, Prakash, very good. I mean,
I'm
if this
asking
is
you.
no, Renuka, one second. Prakash Javadekar. So, are you saying that your party will go? You will all go inside the house, make these demands, and not stall the house?
No, why? Stalling of the house happens only if government behaves irresponsibly. If government is ready to behave responsible even at this late stage, and what we are asking, we are not asking that government should resign because people will throw them out next year. The issue is that the Home Minister has such a disservice to the country,
Okay.
has handed over a handle to the Pakistan to beat India. He must express regrets.
Okay.
What is great thing we are demanding?
Okay. I know we have got a sense of what is going to come tomorrow. Let me go to Smita. Smita, do you think that the Congress party, the government, is prepared to put an end to this controversy in the manner in which the BJP wants it to?
Well, there was an all-party meeting earlier in the day,
Right.
and then where this issue of Mr. Shinde's statement came up, and subsequently, I think there was a meeting with the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, leader of the opposition, Sushma Swaraj, Mr. Shinde and Rajiv Shukla, where it was again discussed. And as we speak, I think there's an NDA meeting on. I think the government and the BJP are also trying to work on the possibility of a statement,
Right.
which will be in the nature of a regret or clarification or apology. If that is sort of resolved, then perhaps this problem will be resolved. But what I would like to say is that Mr. Shinde made this statement on January 20th.
Right.
And perhaps the Congress should have resolved this issue much
earlier.
earlier. Much earlier. They have had a long time. They knew that this issue would come up in Parliament. Given that it is an issue which, for the BJP, it's a key issue.
Okay. Okay. Sitaram, where does your party stand on this issue? Your party seems to have other issues on your mind when it comes to Rajya Sabha. So where does your party stand on this issue of the Shinde statement?
Well, you see, we have always made it very clear that terrorism and terror has neither any religion nor a caste nor a region. And terrorism is simply anti-national and it has to be fought against, and there is no compromise on it.
Right.
There is zero tolerance.
Right.
So it would be wrong to dub an entire set of people who owe their affiliation to some religious, some religion or the other as being terrorists.
Right.
But the same yardstick should apply to all. You can't talk of Islamic terrorism and
We
say
never
that you
say-
take
we
offense
never
at,
say-
at
Prakash,
no,
Prakash, let Sitaram finish. I'll come to you.
No, Mr. Javadekar. Yeah, Mr. Javadekar. Again, I don't know whether BJP said it or not, but routinely the RSS, resolutions are passed on this point. Now the point is, let us be clear. On this issue, no one religion should be castigated as a whole. There would be elements, and you must accept that in the recent cases there have been elements which have been trained by right-wing terrorist outfits.
Right.
Whether it's Malegaon, whether it's Ajmer Sharif, whether it's Hyderabad or Samjhauta Express. I mean, these are things that have been established through investigations.
So
That is fine. But,
No,
but as far
Sitaram,
as the question
so
of
is
what
this an
Mr.
issue?
Shinde said,
No, is this
as
an
far
issue?
as Shinde
Yes.
said,
Right.
what Mr. Shinde said, I mean, he has, and there have been various sound bites from various Congress leaders saying that it's not the Hindus that they had in mind, there's something called saffron or some Hindutva terror. No, whatever it is, a clarification can be made and should be made, and the Parliament allowed to function.
So
and
Parliament-
if it's being worked out, which is what we hear, this being worked out after today's all-party meeting, then let that be worked out and let an agreed statement be made by the Home Minister.
Okay.
And let the Parliament function.
Okay, that's a very positive note. Anyway, at this point, we need to go into a short break now. We'll come back and continue this discussion on the budget session of Parliament, which will be commencing from tomorrow. Welcome back. We are discussing the forthcoming budget session of the Parliament, which will be beginning from tomorrow, and seeing whether we will have a peaceful budget session this time. Prakash Javadekar, one of these issues, but there are several other issues. You know,
Yes.
there are very major bills to be introduced. The Lokpal is still hanging, in the Rajya Sabha, and then the Select Committee report has come. We have to look at that. The ordinance which
Yes.
was being talked about. So, do you think that all these important legislations, as well as in any case the budgets, both the railway budget and general budget is there? So, you think that the opposition will ensure that all these things will be discussed and passed peacefully in both the houses?
We always cooperate because our perception about Parliament is that it is the temple of democracy. We want Parliament to function for 100 days. What is essentially is not happening is that government has to come out with a clear-cut plan of how they want to place legislations.
They are
saying, 1 minute,
There
they
are
are saying,
72 bills have
but
been.
then you need 72 days at least for legislation, or at least 36 days. It's not that easy that you don't discuss, just vote for us. That does happen. We will have amendments in the interest of the people. And it's not about only legislation. After all, it's in a way, a seat of Parliament is where we voice the grievances of the whole people. Today and tomorrow, the whole working class is on strike. I salute those 100 million workers who are suffering and are still on strike because these Congress management of economy has ruined their family budgets. Their living standard has gone down.
Absolutely.
Their real wages have come down.
This is a serious issue, as you said, and as both
Yes,
you and Sitaram have pointed out, it's quite very rare that all the trade unions get together. Anyways, coming to you, Renuka, what Prakash Javadekar says is a very important and interesting thing. He says 72 bills have been slated for this session. You need at least 72 days to discuss it, or at least 36 days to discuss this. But inevitably these kind of so many bills are placed before the House and passed in a hurry. Do you think that there should be more time given? Don't you think that there should be more thought which should go into these legislations instead of pushing them through in the way we have been watching for the last several years?
We are not interested in pushing bills through without discussion. We are completely open-minded, and we wouldn't hesitate to extend time and run the House, provided we don't lose time by blockading Parliament.
Right.
So we can't talk with a dual tongue. We can't say we will not allow Parliament to function as they have done, session after session, and then say, no, I'm saying anyone. I'm not talking about some individual. I'm talking about anyone.
Right.
You can't say that these issues have to be addressed, but we will not allow Parliament to function, because we have a responsibility collectively when we pass these bills. When we talk about certain bills, it's not about Congress or non-Congress or some other party. It's about the people of India.
Absolutely.
So once we enter Parliament, and we all have a responsibility, we all need to discuss these bills, because a good discussion on any bill gives rise to healthy debate, which will impact the nation.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
our citizens.
I need to come in here.
Yeah, Sitaram, I'm coming to you.
I need to come in.
No, Sitaram,
Yes.
I have you please. Before that, I have one issue. See, what Renuka is saying is, is that the opposition also has to cooperate. All these bills are important for the country. It is not just any political party's issue. But can there be an effort on the part of all the political parties to sit together? Now there are 72 bills. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister has announced that they have 72 bills slated for this session which are in the various stages. Can there be a agreement between all the political parties? What are the priorities? Out of these 72 bills, which are the priorities? Which one should be taken up first? Is it just the government's prerogative to push? Because that is where the problem seems to be cropping up.
No. You see, both the houses have a laid out system.
Right.
And that system is that you have a business advisory committee.
Yes.
They discuss the bills, which are the priorities, what should come, etc., and they will do the job.
Right.
Now, the issue is not that, Girish. The point here is that there are certain contentious issues that have come before the country
Right.
and the people in the interregnum
Right.
since the last session.
Yes.
Now, many of these have not been the making of the opposition.
Right.
The Home Minister's remark is, after all, the Home Minister of the government.
Right.
And whether is the helicopter scam, it's after all a government decision.
Right.
But these are issues which are also as important for the Parliament to take a position on.
Right.
Now, this will depend on the government's inclination whether it will allow these things to happen. And often we have seen in the recent past it's the government's obduracy that has led to the disruption of the House rather than the obstruction by the opposition.
Right.
One whole session lost because the government didn't agree for a JPC which agreed on the first day of the next session. I mean, where does the opposition figure in this?
Renuka, government's obduracy. It
So
is
the
not the
point
opposition.
is, it's not, it's
Let me go to Renuka. Renuka, it's government's obduracy and not the opposition's adamancy which creates all these problems. And they have a very interesting,
define
they have
to
a
me
very,
what is-
they have an example of that JPC, which whole session was lost and then it was agreed. And they have that example which they will keep on quoting for some time to come.
I just want to ask the honorable panelists who are sitting here today, to what do they attribute this 2-day strike? Is it productive? How many crores loss is the nation facing? Is this the time for us to go on strike?
I'll come down to it. I'll come to it.
Is it not a total disconnect? Is it not a disconnect to the reality that is happening? And after causing crores
No,
worth
it is
of
not.
loss
It is not
in
at
these
all.
2 days, and there's been violence
No,
where people have targeted private properties, who is going to be accountable for that?
Okay, both
Private properties have been attacked.
Right.
Renuka,
Renuka, you made a point.
Let me respond.
Let me get both Sitaram and Prakash to respond to that. You made a very interesting point. Okay, yes, Sitaram.
Yes. Now, first of all, the honourable member from the other side should also realize that the trade union which is affiliated to the Congress party is also part of the strike. Now, why were these people forced to join this strike call and jointly give
we
the
all
call?
know. I'm an
Because
ex-trade unionist.
continuously for years.
We know how trade unions have to work
Please,
together.
for a moment. No, we heard you. No, we heard you. Just listen to the answer. For continuously for all these years, we have been saying do something to curb the price rise. Nothing is being done. We are saying give relief to the people. Instead, you give tax concessions to the rich, which the budget papers last year point out are 6,000 crores more than the entire fiscal deficit, which is an all-time high in the last fiscal year. Now you give concessions to the rich, and then you have crores, thousands, lakhs of crores siphoned off through scams. And now today you say 20,000 crores is what is the loss of this strike. Who is responsible for that? No, why weren't these issues taken up earlier? Trade unions had given this call some months ago. Why did the government not call them for talks? They call them on the 19th evening when the strike begins on the 20th morning. You call them for talks on the 19th evening and say that your demands will be considered only if you withdraw the strike call. Is that the way to deal with it? You have an Indian law which says a strike notice is perfectly permissible.
Is this the way to deal with things?
It can
that
be given.
We will cause crores of loss?
No, but
and if you don't
who
listen
is
to us,
dealing?
this is
Who
what
is
we
dealing
do.
with it? Is the government?
Is that conflict
The government has to
resolution?
deal with it.
Okay, Prakash.
No, the government has.
Sitaram.
Why did the government not talk to them? For
Sitaram,
3 months, the strike call was there on the agenda.
Okay,
No,
Sitaram,
you're right.
let me get
Why
Government
did
should deal
why were
with
the
this, and we
representatives
shouldn't
called
have
on the
allowed
night
anyone
before?
to get out on the streets.
Prakash. Yes, Prakash.
Yes,
You-
it is
you-
only
you-
one observation. You know that the group of ministers made 2 days ago to the union leaders, and what union leaders say? We are ready to withdraw if what you have agreed in Indian Labour Conference, which is like a labour's parliament, where the government, the owners and the labour organizations are represented. So there is a conclusion drawn and agreed part of it, which government has agreed but not implementing. They said implement whatever you have agreed. Walk the talk. That was the simple demand. They are not ready for that. One, and you are talking about 20,000 crore, but they have lost 20 lakh crore rupees in last 8 years due to real wages going down. That's the real thing. And contract labor's exploitation, you are experiencing in every sector. What a plight of contract workers. They do the same work but they don't get the same pay.
Okay.
They don't get the social security, many of them. So this is absolutely unacceptable scenario.
Okay.
These are the workers who create the wealth for the nation. And
Right.
you are not paying them their price. That's
Okay.
the whole issue.
We are-
Obama is also on record
Okay.
saying
Okay,
that
Prakash.
the
So
minimum
you want
wages should
strike
increase.
Okay,
and
Prakash.
pause.
Yes.
Okay, Prakash, we are completely running out of time. Last words to you, Smita. You think the government under the new Parliamentary Affairs Minister will be able to overcome? We have been given a glimpse of what the government can expect in this last half an hour. You think the government will be able to handle this in a better manner than what it has done in the past?
Well, Mr. Kamal Nath, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, has been working overtime, not only having meetings with all the political parties, but also dealing with individual leaders. But he himself has acknowledged that it's going to be very, very difficult, because what we are seeing today, 16 months ahead of the next election,
Right.
there's a kind of breakdown between the opposition and the government. Because yes, in the Business Advisory Committee, government will push for laws to be, time for the laws to be passed. Opposition will push for the discussions that it wants,
Yes.
whether it's on high prices or the helicopter scam. There should be some kind of via media where both the opposition and the government, get time
Come
to
to a-
push
okay.
their agenda. But
Okay.
we have to watch.
Okay, thank you, thanks. So, we have been given a glimpse of what we can expect in the coming days. But as Smita says, hopefully there will be a via media worked out between the opposition and the government, and we'll be able to see some proper, good discussions happening in the parliament. Thanks to all my guests, Sitaram Yechury, Prakash Javadekar, Renuka Chaudhary, Smita Gupta. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on the big picture, same time tomorrow.